Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Living World of Darkness Rage Across New York. Today's scene is set amidst the Cub Cabins and the Den Father's Cabin and the Rock. You know, all the stuff in that area. As one particular Maebh Mechfion is finally coming to join the freshly changed mob that has been very generously overfed by one particular Lucas Mathis. And as such, we will just let people tune in on what they're doing as this ginger wanders up towards that area.
Adam is lying outside of the Cub Cabins in his form as you see him in lupus, and he like chilling, looking out over the area, and of course notices Maebh immediately, and he stands up on all four legs and does the happy wolf greeting when she arrives. Maebh, he says, "It is good to see you."
She will offer the lounging wolf a light smile and a nod, and if he's up high enough as she passes, probably an idle ruffling of the fur around his cheeks as she pauses on her way in. What's everybody up to? I heard Lucas is cooking.
Yeah. He follows her. He gets that idea apparently.
So as they wander on, who else is about? What are they doing?
Jacob is just chilling out on the railing by the Cub Cabins. Just seems to be lost in thought, daydreaming.
Alright. You get a light wave as she wanders up, assuming he even glances to see where the motion is and what it is.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double take because his eyes are just kind of shifting around. He's kind of thinking happy thoughts, and he sees that someone's actually waving at him, which kind of snaps him back to reality. And he eagerly waves on back and jogs on over. Quite happy to see Maebh.
Liam will wander out. He's still in his lupus, and in his lupus form, and he sees Maebh. He kind of wanders over, lifts his chin to show his throat, and then gives a happy little yip when she acknowledges him.
Yep, the bared throat will actually earn him. She'll take a moment and actually pause her stride and bend down to kind of, for lack of a better term, scritch at the offered throat, as she doesn't have a muzzle right now to nibble at it. But she'll essentially acknowledge the gesture and an approving, very good. Very good. It's good to see that you remember.
You get a tail wag. He's just got that wolfy grin.
And she'll glance about, but with three of them already gravitated in her direction, she'll probably just kind of linger for the moment, unless there are sights or sounds to draw her onward.
There may not be sights or sounds, but there's certainly a smell coming from the direction of Olaf's cabin.
From Olaf's cabin.
Mm-hmm.
She'll pause and knit her brow and kind of tip up her nose to give a light sniff to determine, because she knows that Lucas made a massive breakfast in the boys' cabin, but this is coming from the wrong cabin and may very well not smell like things like bacon and eggs.
It doesn't smell like bacon and eggs, actually. It smells more like venison and gravy.
Gravy? She'll quirk a brow. And after a couple moments, lift a hand to cup around her mouth and call in that direction. That you, Heidi?
From the window that overlooks Olaf's sink, there's just a thumb that comes out with flour on it. That's basically a big thumbs up.
You guys are damn lucky. We only had one person that could cook when I was a cub.
Hetty comes out from the door of Olaf's cabin, probably the screen door, and she's got like on an apron around, and it's got like flour on both hands, and she comes out with a smile and a pitcher of lemonade with biodegradable disposable cups.
Very nice.
She sets it down onto the little table on the porch. Lunch will be served in just a moment.
And Maebh will lower her hands and just kind of rifle at either wolf head on either side and start heading in that direction to take some lemonade and then plunk down on the steps. Because Olaf's porch is always a good place to linger. So, what have all of you been doing? Nobody's in too much trouble, I hope? Anyone been out to lessons besides, well, training with Olaf?
No, sorry. Oh, in which case, he'll just Jake will just say, "Oh, I've been learning a bit about challenges recently." Not too big of a deal.
Important thing to learn. All things considered. Have you all met properly? Names, auspices.
Some of you, but I don't think I've. And he kind of does the whole. It's kind of exposes his throat a bit in human form. It's almost like a universal thing, because to a wolf it would be a sign of respect. To a human it would just look like a nod. And he just kind of
She'll duck
points
around
to
brow in approval.
Liam and Adam McGee.
Adam will nod, and I see they would probably have exchanged this kind of who am I kind of thing, right?
They
Yeah,
all
he's-
have probably seen each other, but I don't know if you guys want to say that you've introduced yourselves or not. Since all three of you boys are in the same cabin, inevitably you have at least laid eyes on each other.
Jacob hasn't introed himself, and that's what he's doing right now, though.
So he's given his name. Maebh will look expectantly to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Adam will nod and say, "I am Adam McGee, born on two legs under a gibbous moon, in Belfast."
Liam just kind of cocks his head to the side. I am Liam, born on two legs, under the crescent moon. And he kind of looks at Maebh, kind of like unsure if that's correct.
I thought I'm confused.
And he just goes, Raya, is that not the correct moon? I'm a Philodox. He just says that. I don't know what the form is.
Man.
Oh, half moon. And he just kind of like nods, like his little wolfy head.
Oh, like me then.
Indeed. And it's best to have two Philodoxes being raised together. It means that you two can debate amidst yourselves without worries about saying something untoward or offending someone of higher rank. A lot of being a philodox seems to be not whether the litany is right or wrong, but how one decides to translate it.
All about interpretation.
It can be argued a lot of directions. I've seen it.
Anyway, I guess I should introduce myself as well. I'm Jacob Clay. Fellow docs myself.
Maebh will do the little rolling of a hand with a finger extended to kind of encourage him to continue until he gets the last bit. Or to at least prompt him that maybe he missed part of it.
Like your Adam Osborn on two legs.
A nod of approval is given. And when introducing yourselves to others, you will make sure to mention that you're all cups.
Oh yeah, let's
But all in all, very good. And obviously, especially as a cliath, but as myself, I'm not going to expect bared throats and bellies when I approach unless you think Olaf is trying to pull a lesson or something and you should do it to make him happy. But don't forget it, even cliaths, at the very least, make sure you offer your throat. But better yet, do the flap.
Liam nods. Yes, Raya. It's always good to practice. And he gives like an energetic, like, you know how dogs and wolves do that sort of whole body shake, like when they're getting ready to do something?
Mm-hmm.
He does that.
Have any of you done any hunting yet? Anything besides the arms practice or, well, the everything practice with Olaf in the mornings?
I'm a bit wanted, so.
It's alright. There is a lot we can still do here on Sept. I do not hunt the rabbits anymore, but they are fair game.
I've mainly just been playing tag. Giving chilled looks all around.
Well, you are stuck in the veiled areas, but even there are rabbits. They are not turned aside. There's also fish in the lakes.
It's true.
Considering how wild things are here, it's good to know how to snap out with your jaws or with your claws for when the time comes that you need to do it against something that's not food.
I see. Actually, I should probably ask this and just get it out of the way, because I could probably use your perspective. Slightly confused on one thing. Myself and Heidi were given new names by a silent strider. Went
What's
into
it?
yeah, I think so. See, I can't remember. Let's just.
I will assume that what he did was, well, I mean, it is a Galliard's forte. Many of us have deed names. As far as the spirits are concerned, I am not Maeve McPheon. I am Strikes with Heart, and this is a deed name that I earned through my actions. They are given out, usually by Galliards, and not all of them are good. There is one in particular who is thankfully long since gone, who was known to the nation as Chicken Shit. So, do be careful that you don't do something outrageously foolish, or you will be named after it.
I'll keep a note of that.
Normally, though.
Imagine if I get into the history books, though.
Now, the thing is that the only Garu that I know of who was granted a deed name before becoming cliath was my packmate Chino, and he earned it by facing down a great spirit and throwing his will and his intimidation with such power that he drove it to its knees. And it offered him the name Banebreaker. But, at least amidst the nation, you will not have proper deed names until you are adults.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. I was thought that it's a bit strange. But no, I appreciated it. It's nice to have new names and all that. Not really sure how to go about it, but am I just known by that now, or?
Well, for now, if you want to call yourself that, you can. Goodness knows that Lucas calls himself all sorts of things that are not his deed name. But it will not be recognized, and considering that you are not a ragabash, it may be seen as slightly insulting.
Okay.
A deed name is something that is earned. And while you did earn this, it is not an official deed name, not until you're an adult.
Okay, yeah. I mean, people can call me whatever. I think I want Jacob J. Icy Stare. I wouldn't mind too much.
Is that
Yeah.
the name you're given?
Icy Stare, yeah.
Not a bad one.
I guess it goes up the
Perhaps
color
when
of
you perhaps when you go through your rite of passage, you will be granted it, or another one. And she'll glance amidst all the others. Anyone else? Run into anything confusing yet? And if Liam is
Will-
looking introvert, as usual, he'll get his ear tweaked a little bit just to kind of wake him up.
He pops, kind of like pops his ear. So are we going hunting?
Soon. Olaf will take you up
Big
north.
wolfy grin.
There's better prey up there, more various prey. Here, the best thing you can catch is a rabbit.
But rabbits are fast and cunning. Would it not be a good training
They
for
are.
us?
Oh, they are. This is why I said you can hunt rabbit, and if you wish, I can teach you, but again, I will not be hunting. I have done too much with the spirits of the rabbits in this sept, and I would not wish to offend. This is not to say that you should fear that you will offend spirits by doing what comes naturally. The spirit of rabbit understands that it is prey, and it understands that when it dies, it gives strength to us. Make sure that you always thank your prey for the meal it grants you and never hunt unless it is needed. And she will gesture, by the by, to a gigantic, like, trunk cooler, well, icebox, that is, well, maybe still nestled outside Olaf's cabin, or we can say that it's within eyesight of the screen door, but either way, she will gesture to it. As long as we are not wasteful, it is not improper.
I do have a question, Raya. Do we hunt for the sept?
For the most part, the people here, they eat like normal people. But we got that cooler for a reason. Fresh meat, wild hunted meat, is much preferable to things that have been processed, especially when you consider that in the past we have had problems where the companies that process those meats and foods, it has been known that certain companies have been corrupted and they have tainted the food. We lost several kinfolk the last time it happened. They ate the tainted meat and they became Fomori.
What are
And-
Fomori, Raya?
For lack of a better term, they're monsters. We told you about the worm. We told you about how it taints. Oh, who'd we lose? Oh, we lost Vinny. We told you that it can taint people, it can taint places, it can taint things. If a person becomes worm-tainted, very, very worm-tainted, and I don't know exactly how it happens, they can become Fomori. They become mutated, they become twisted, and they become monsters. They attack, at least these ones did, without rhyme or reason. Others that we've encountered have had more self-control, but are still horrible to fight. They're, at least so far as I've seen, pretty readily identifiable because they will look like horrible, twisted people. People who have been corrupted so badly that it's now visible. The ones that were our kin that were tainted by eating fish. And as a result, they became these great hulking fish monsters. And she will give a description that sounds roughly like those really badass looking Murloc with the fins on their backs.
Raya, another question. How do we tell if one is tainted but they are not tainted enough to be these Fomori?
There are gifts from the spirits that can allow you to do it. I have that gift myself. But other than that, there is no sure way of knowing. Another easy way of knowing is if you ever try to pass onto the sept, or anything that is tainted tries to pass onto the sept. There are spirits who have agreed to act as alarms for us, and they will go absolutely wild to make sure that all of us are aware that something that is tainted has come onto sept grounds before it can get to the Cairn Heart and corrupt it. This is why every time any of us leave the sept, leave the sept and return to it, we always stop at the Bond. We always do the rite of cleansing. Because bringing even the slightest bit of worm taint into the sept and too close to the cairn can risk damaging it. And if you're not sure, you cleanse. I, in fact, have a kinfolk right now who is in a dire situation, but I cannot bring him onto sept, not because he is worm-tainted, but because he is weaver-tainted, which is surprisingly possible. And if you are able to look through the gauntlet that separates the Tellurian from the Umbra, it's usually visible. It looks like they are cocooned in webs that move with them, that give them shape. And until a very particular rite is used, and I only know 2 people who can do it, he will remain weaver-tainted, and thus cannot enter the sept.
He thinks this over for a moment. His head kind of tilts from side to side and his ears flick a bit. And he just nods, yes, Raya. Thank you, Raya.
You don't have to say it every time.
The rules are there for a reason, Raya.
Very well. I won't fight you on it.
He gives another big wolfy grin.
Is he doing the big dopey like open mouth dog smile, or how is he grinning?
Yes.
Describe
It's
this
the
to me.
big,
Okay.
the big, goofy smile like the Fiona Disney style Fiona.
That is a snarl, sir.
That is a snarl. Not a snarl, but a
It's
goofy
the only
smile.
way to. Yeah, the only way to make the smile goofy is like if you've ever looked at a happy dog that has like its mouth all gaped open and his tongue lolling out, like the quote dog
Yeah,
smile.
that type.
Yeah. That's pretty much the best way to do it without it ever being mistaken for a snarl.
Although he's so tiny, it looks like like a little Shih Tzu. He's so tiny.
Aw, little babby.
Did she say that in character or out of character?
No, that was me. Sorry.
Okay, because he would have done the whole "I'm not little, I am a strong, fierce, scary" whole thing.
I am a vicious warrior. No, she didn't do all that. She might be thinking it really hard, but she's not saying it. She's not saying it. And as Adam has been fairly quiet, she will next turn to him. Did you finish your song?
Oh, it's nice weather outside. I have been working on it, Raya, he says. I have not finished quite yet. I have had a bit of thinking to do about the coming events. I am working on it.
It has... Well, it has always been wild here. As much as it's nice to say, it's good to learn to work under pressure, I'm sure the subject matter doesn't help. It's hard to sing about something you don't necessarily agree with.
He nods, but it is my task, so to speak. Oh, see, I can't remember what the song was, and I totally forgot about it.
You are totally supposed to do one for Travis.
Ah, yeah, that's true. I will get to that. I've totally forgotten about that. Adam would not have forgotten about it.
Out of character.
So he said, I am working, and I'm going to give it my all, because I owe that to the nation, at least.
Indeed. Tales must be remembered. Even tales when something goes wrong, so that the mistakes are not repeated.
He nods. Indeed, he says, I am. I to be honest, I still have trouble believing that happened. But it did, and I'm also, for the moment, I'm also pondering thinking about things to come, and that has occupied my mind a lot in the past several weeks.
She'll idly kind of pluck at his fur if he's got any little hitchhiker burrs or anything like that, and kind of pick them out. Social grooming, essentially. I know it's hard to believe, but we are a very passionate people. And we do all manner of silly things recorded forever in song.
He returns her gesture, grooming her fur a little bit.
Well, she's in Hamid, so he can
oh, lol.
do the grazing nibble at her arm or something. But
yeah, exactly. Licking her or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She seems to be perfectly comfortable with lupus behaviors in Hamid.
Yeah, Adam will lie down and relax. He's getting used to. He has finally gotten used to the whole thing about sharing his living area with so many other people that he hadn't been used to before, but it's coming around to him.
How many of you are there now? Let me think. There's Adam, there's Lupita, there's the two of you, there's Heidi. Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting someone?
Oh, see, I think you're forgetting Ping, aren't you?
Ping's a cliath.
Ping is not a... Yeah, Ping is not a...
Oh, she's a cliath. Sorry. Forgot about that.
On the winds, through the pack link, Gabriel, Beard.
Oh, yes, that's right. Gosh, I don't know, I forgot Gabriel. That was... Whew.
Bet you're glad she's not here right now, huh?
Well, if he was here, I wouldn't have forgotten. So there. Sticks out tongue.
Liam has his head cocked towards Jacob, like this expression of confusion on his face as he glances back between Maebh and Jacob.
Something wrong?
Jacob looks down there, kind of smiling. He's enjoying this.
looks to Maebh. Nothing is wrong, Raya. Just confused.
Did I miss something he said in character?
Out of character, no. He's just
Okay.
confused by the Philodox being so like lackadaisical about like etiquette.
I will in fact roll a peony to make that a legitimate amount of information to have given me, assuming I make it. Bloop. I know all of your woes. All of them.
That's right,
That
baby,
is-
and I get one success, at least.
Oh, derp. And since you can't see it, I will click myself. Well, I will do this. So that you can see on the side here. For the sake of legitimacy.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay,
But
look
yeah,
at them
so-
wings.
Aww. So yeah, she'll glance at him, and even though he says nothing is wrong, she kind of glances up at Jake and considers it for a second, and then kind of lofts her brows thoughtfully and lets it go. At least for the moment. And
Should be
she'll
nice to
poke
do
through
something.
the pack link, since it's been used once already, which means he's either listening to what she's thinking, because Gaia knows she leaks thoughts constantly, or he could be near enough by to listen. Hey, you close by?
Yeah. It's a bit of an issue here in Quadrant 2016. Apparently somebody went ahead and spray painted one of the oak trees, and we're like figuring out how in the world to chip away that bark without doing any more damage. But
I don't suppose
yeah,
it's something thick
I can
enough
put somebody
barked-
on it.
Oh. Well, shame on them. Okay. I mean, we're not doing anything particularly important, but I figured if you were going to poke through, I'd see where you were.
Let me go ahead and like put the Marcus on this one and travel back to where you guys are.
By the way, in character, Maeve just kind of looks off in a direction, just does that like kind of lazy stare straight ahead thing that people do sometimes when they're thinking, and just kind of looks like she's, well, thinking really hard about something or distracted for a moment. Though once she's done talking with Lucas, she'll blink and obviously back in the here now, be back in the here and now, and glance around herself. Presumably Heidi has either brought out lunch or is finishing it, but either way, she has lemonade. Alright. Well, while I have the three of you... Actually, Adam, have you actually interacted with any spirits yet?
Adam thinks long and hard, and then he says, "Not really. I think." He says, "Except for that one time when you and I went to the Umbra, and I paid Jiminage to a dove spirit by feeding it some gnosis."
Ah, good. That's something.
But
And
apart from that, not really.
And for the other two of you, chiminage is a term for an offering or a sacrifice of sorts to a spirit, usually a payment for a service. Sometimes it is given as an apology for an offense.
And Adam is, if Adam had been Hamid, he would have snapped his fingers, but he isn't, so he doesn't. He looks at Maebh and goes, "Actually, that does remind me of something, Maebh. If at some point, if you and I could talk alone, not necessarily now, but at some point soon."
Of course.
He smiles. Happy doggy grin.
From out in random direction, from the woodworks, whatever you want to go ahead and call it. From a distance, you can go ahead and see Lucas. You can probably hear him because he's jangling his freaking keys in his pocket like a madman.
Maeve appreciates the gesture.
Sneaky Lucas is not sneaky.
Sneaky Lucas chooses when he is sneaky.
Exactly.
Sneaky Lucas is all the sneakier, for he is sneakily showing you that he is not sneaky.
So he'll go ahead and approach the group. Look at all the cubbies. So what are we doing today?
Learning about Chimnage, it seems.
Answering questions for the most part, but I figured a trot across to probably meet one of the doves wouldn't be a bad starter to becoming familiar with spirits.
Okay. Goes ahead and points half, gibbous, wherever are crescents.
I assume Gabriel is out with Olaf.
Okie dokie. Just don't want to go ahead and leave like the crescent nonsense completely and utterly out of the lessons.
No, I will actually seek him out for a more in-depth lesson later.
Okay, fantastic. Lucas is going to go ahead and break out a compact mirror. So where are we heading to? One of the dove nests? One of the shrines?
We should still have some nesting boxes near the boys' cabin that Chino put up.
Yep. That sounds like a totally appropriate thing.
Closer is better.
Goes ahead and looks at all the cubs. So you've seen you've seen the dove coats besides the boys' cabin, right?
Yes, Raya.
Okay, cool. Now that is the house that our late brother Chino went ahead and gave Dove's material children, those children that she left on this side of the gauntlet. And if you take care of a spirit's material children, the spiritual brood will also take kindly to you and are more often to do favors for you. See, on this side of the gauntlet, they are simply dovecoats, but on the other, Lucas goes ahead and stares at his particular combat mirror. Let's see if I can do this off the bat. Oh yeah, definitely.
Compact.
Gone in a second.
And by the by, while he is pointing out taking care of the material children, Maeve will be pointing idly to, yeah, there's the dovecoats, but there's also hummingbird feeders about both the boys' and girls' cabins. And over near the girls' cabin, within sight, is a large wooden bowl that has been set out that squirrels are constantly visiting and snatching nuts and seeds out of. And she will pull out her own compact mirror and flick it open and turn it so that the two lupus, at least to start with, can look into it. You can either take your time, it takes 5 minutes to step across, or you can roll and try to go through faster. The gauntlet, I think, is only 3 inside the sept. So it's a very low difficulty.
Alright, so I'm going to try rolling it.
Yep, Jacob's going to roll. He's going to look into a reflective surface. It's Wits Enigmas, right?
It's Gnosis.
It's Gnosis. Okay.
Straight Gnosis.
He does it.
Very well. How about Adam? He popping through?
Yep. Gnosis. This is where I wish I had more Gnosis, but I don't.
You can.
I suppose.
You've
10,
still
4,
got
9.
more than the other two. You actually pop through faster than the other two do since you had more successes. It'll still take them about 5 minutes, but it'll get them across. Maeve will just look into the mirror and take her time because, you know what, there's plenty of people here to help her if she gets caught, but why take an unnecessary risk? So she will notably be the last to appear on the other side, and as before, considering I think everyone here has seen her in the Umbra, she looks like a statue carved out of pearl. It's ridiculous. She's kind of shimmery, and there's a very, very faint glow involved.
Lucas has already gone ahead and wandered over to the penumbral reflection of the dove coats, and you can see a multitude of spirits flying here and there, fluttering to and fro. Most of them seem to go ahead and visit that reflection there, which is actually sort of like a huddling of thickets, sticks, thrash, trash, and a nesting. And some of those doves just go ahead and take a hot second to land on good old Lucas's head and shoulders, which he doesn't pay too much mind.
They will get a similar treatment as she wanders closer.
Jacob will
Adam
just
follow-
ask Maeve if they prefer a certain form, or if he's fine how he is in his hobbit form.
Doves are very kind spirits for the most part. They are not going to take offense to you taking lupus or any other form. They are going to prefer a form that's not meant for war, because they are spirits of peace. And were you to go to appeal to one to learn something, I would suggest that you go in your Hamid form. But for this, it doesn't matter.
And Adam will actually Adam will change into Hamid for the dove's sake and hope he doesn't fail his role, and he does not.
And keep in mind that anyone who's been around long enough will have a dedicated set of clothes, so they should be able to change freely. If you want to say that Liam, being as fresh as he is, doesn't yet, you are welcome to assume that.
Streaker. Adam will actually spend a point of temporary gnosis and manifest bird seeds, which he will take in both hands and offer to the dove spirits.
You want me to let you have it, Austin, for narrating them, or you want me to take over?
So you're manifesting point of gnosis as birdseed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A few of the doves perched on the dove coast are going to go ahead and fly into your hand. Go ahead and peck at the seeds for a tiny little bit, and after it's quite satisfied, it'll go ahead and hop from your hand over to your shoulder and go ahead and give you a really, really nice cuddle, nuzzle type affection before flying pretty much off to do whatever the hell dove spirits do when they're not around.
And notably, as it consumes the gnosis, from what I understand, the dove does seem to grow maybe a little bit larger, maybe has a stronger presence than before. It's worth noting that when you look upon dove spirits, you're not just seeing a bird. You're not just seeing a dove. When you look at them, you are seeing and feeling everything that defines a dove. They are the most white doves. They are perfectly pure. They almost exude a sense of peace. They are the concept of a dove.
So Liam kind of approaches behind Maebh, and he kind of sees what Adam does, and he approaches Maebh. Raya, how do we do that? He kind of points his nose towards Adam.
Well, we have taught you about rage, at least a little bit. And just as you can tap into your rage in battle, you can tap into your gnosis, both in and out of battle. The gnosis it's magic. It is Gaia's gift to you. It is what allows you to cross the gauntlet. And various Garu have different ways of tapping in or manifesting. I believe that it resides within me, and I reach inside myself to pull it forth. But you are able to manifest it here in the Umbra, and while it will refresh itself, it is a type of currency almost here. All of the spirits here, they, I won't say are made of gnosis, but something very similar. It is life to them. It is power to them. It's what many people use as an easy form of chiminage. It also allows you to shape and change the umbra, at least a bit, depending on how much you have and how strong your will is. The thing that you have to keep in mind, and I don't know how much of Gaia's gift you have, is that were you to run out, at least concept you would be fine, because every day you will be refreshed. But if you were to run out, you would be stuck on this side of the gauntlet. You would not be able to you'd not be able to cross again into the Tellurian, where there are things like, food. And while here on the Sept it is fairly safe, I mean, spirits will be spirits, it's still very safe here. But should you run out in the city, for instance, you would be at the mercy of anything that found you. So do keep in mind that if it feels like doing so would leave you dry of gnosis, it is best not to give that last bit. Not unless it is a very, very, very real emergency.
Hold on a hot second. Let me go ahead and make a rainbow, Lucas says. Well, it's not that fantastic of a rainbow, but you can see that from Lucas's hands, a stream of gnosis, spiritual essence, goes ahead and leaves it. And just above you, there is the faintest faint outline of, a three-colored rainbow. Damn it.
Adam smiles. He loves seeing things like that, and then he notices the trees and wants to make an impression, or not make an impression, but wants to pass on something that he got himself. And then he says to his fellow cubs, "Look at the trees," he says. "Look at their faces." When I first saw that, this was an eye-opener for me. And it is... I was not... I was very young. He looks at Maebh, because she was there with him when it happened. I was very very new to this life when I realized by coming here that everything around us has a spirit and is alive in some sense. Look at the trees, at their faces, look at the birds, look at the spirit that just ate out of my hand and flew away.
Most
They
things
are the
do have a
ones...
spirit. Sorry, she
Go
was
on,
agreeing with.
Oh, okay. Okay, Adam, the second she speaks, Adam turns his head and looks as if he's said something wrong.
Oh no, you're fine. Everything does have a spirit, and that does not just mean things that you believe conventionally are living. The wind has spirits. The lake has a spirit. Anything that has been around long enough, she'll nod in the direction of the cabins, has a reflection here and has become real. And even if it is not awake enough to speak to you, they can be awakened and do have spirits.
He nods. The faces in the trees, he says, was, as I said, an eye-opener for me, because it made me realize it made me realize in a way that I had not before, the sheer monstrosity of what the Weaver is doing to Gaia. This was a big part of my own awakening, if you can call it that, even though it happened after I had changed.
And while Maeve won't interrupt again, she will be murmuring, essentially, to one of the doves on one of her shoulders. it's weird because even though it's at a volume where you can listen and you know she's conveying something, you know she's saying something, it doesn't. It's not intelligible. It's almost as if no matter how hard you listen, it's just this light murmur that you can't make out. But whatever it is that she says, it'll draw a reaction from the dove, and she will likewise manifest essentially with a light gesture kind of up from her breastbone, as if drawing it out of herself, will manifest a small globe of glowing green in her hand and offer it to the dove and nod her thanks. And then let it flutter off to do whatever have you. They will probably note that it flutters off and it'll go and land atop the boy's cabin and just kind of nestle down there.
So Adam finishes. I just wanted to let the rest of you know that this is a good place to come to contemplate as well. Contemplate the gift that we've been given by Gaia, contemplate the struggle ahead of us, and what is at stake in the end. That is all. And he goes silent again. He hasn't spoken much throughout this whole, since Maebh walked in the cabin, but now he keeps quiet again.
Liam gives a little wolfy nod. He seems to be entranced by the dove spirits. He's not trying to catch them or anything. He's just watching them and just seems to be very focused on them.
And how about Jake? What is he? Let's take a look at his expression and how he's reacting to all this too.
He was keeping an eye on him as he talks, and then turns back towards the doves and doesn't say anything in response because other people are having their piece. So he's just letting them speak as he just kind of nods in understanding and approval. And after everyone's done, he says, "Yes, I'd like to come here more often. So
it'll be a boon and a benefit for you."
Ask only that if you do it frequently, you take your time, you make sure you get across cleanly and carefully. It is possible to become caught in the curtain that separates here and there. Be careful. It's why I always step through last, to make sure that if anyone is caught, I can pull them back out.
How do you help someone who is caught, Raya?
Usually it involves what it essentially is either yanking them or tackling them through to the other side. It means that I have to cross through myself successfully and pull them along as I do so.
Nods. Goes back to. He's probably by this point, like glancing between Maebh and the spirits. What is good chiminage for the doves?
A good chiminage for the doves is, like Lucas said, actually, is caring for their children is the easiest one. You can give them gnosis in exchange for the talons that I make, the healing items. In order to make them, I must bind a dove spirit into the item, and using it, the dove does what it is meant to do, and then it returns here. But in exchange for those, I have vowed not to use violence as a first option. They understand that I must defend myself. They understand that sometimes violence is the only solution, but I have promised them that I will always give some consideration to some other approach before casting myself into battle. And they appreciate that. Again, they're spirits of peace. But if you want, I'm sure Lucas will show you a little bit of how we maintain the coats, or we can give you access to some of the birdseed, or you can have some of the kin pick some up for you. But taking care of the actual doves is a very good way to earn their favor.
You take care of them, they take care of you.
Nods.
Just like you are wolf and man, you are body and you are spirit. We are lucky. The spirits will listen to you, well, in so much as they can. It will be probably impossible just now for you to understand what they say back. But that's what the Theurges are for. Damn it. Lost track of where I was going. She kind of gives her head a shake. We are, in a way, we are spirit ourselves, more so than the average person. That is why we can step across like this, where humans cannot. It's also why the spirits will give heed to us when we speak to them, well, the Gaian ones anyways. And that is why they will enter into deals with us and aid us in our fight. We are kind of like distant brethren. It's always important to remember to respect the spirits.
I am not. And he just goes back to watching the dove spirits.
I make sure to keep them well fed and looked after, then. And make sure to take a friend along as well.
Yep. You got it.
It's going to be pretty embarrassing if both of us get caught then.
If both of you get caught, well, I've got no idea what we're going to do with the rest of the Cub class. I don't know. Because it looks like maybe we'll be lost, completely and utterly lost.
Blink, blink. I looked away.
Lucas made a stupid joke.
She's probably all the more comical for having missed it. She just kind of like does the wide-eyed like, what? What'd I do? What'd I miss? All in all, this is a very good class of cubs, yes. I wouldn't want to lose any of you, especially not in the webs. It's not pleasant.
No, as I said, I hate spiders. Not my thing.
It's not so much that they're creepy and spiders as that the Weaver is a thing of order and what we call calcification. It's like turning things to stone, almost, and being caught in the webs is like that. A moment stretches forever. It's very unpleasant. So, do your best not to be caught in it, and be mindful of the fact that should you, and for the love of Gaia, if you are in the city, if you are in their territory, and they aren't covered with rust, leave the spiders alone. There's a lot more of them than there are of you, but should they come onto Sept or the like, should they be ones covered in rust that attack you, be mindful of the webs. They can slow you down to the point of not being able to move, not being able to breathe.
Adam nods and then looks at Maebh and says, "If I may add, Brian."
Oh, cork a brow, but nod.
I have seen this happen in battle. He says, "It is not. It is a potent advantage of the spiders, but it is not. They are still not invincible. Just don't be stupid." He smiles.
It does bear saying that the webs can be bitten away.
If you find one of your brothers or sisters caught within the webs or entangled within the webs, we'd ask you to go ahead and rip them apart as quickly as possible to free your brother and sister. It is not a pleasant experience for them at all.
This is why we are a pack, is it not? To prevent lone Garu from being caught by these things? Is that not one of the advantages of a pack?
It is.
It's an incredible advantage. Whenever you see one of your brothers and sisters and the webs around them, you just go ahead and take a bite out of those weave her webs and tear it apart. Lucas says, mimicking tearing apart motion with his helmet face and his helmet hands.
Adam grins.
If you are so fortunate that you are able to convince the spirit to grant you such a gift, you may be so lucky in a pack as to know before the thing has happened, so that you can run to your packmate's aid before things get too dire.
Nods. Yes, Raya.
Shouldn't be a problem.
How about you, Jake? You haven't asked as many questions as most cubs do. What are you thinking about?
Into 1.5 hour rant.
Yeah. I don't know, just taking it all in, really. I feel like a lot of my questions right now have been answered, so... Should I be asking more?
No.
As
wanna make sure that
many
you don't
or
get-
as little as whatever time you possibly want. Lucas looks at his watch. How long do you actually need me for? I got a feeling that Marcus is going to start yelling at people.
Marcus, you go handle that.
Cool, cool. Goes ahead and looks to all of you. Now, you all mind your Uriahs, right?
Yes, Raya.
Sure thing, Lucas Ryan.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Lucas is going to start to wander off, take his compact mirror out of his back pocket, and just this time, slowly but surely, take his time. And I'm gone. It's a nice little scene, but I gotta go.
Okay, peace out, buddy.
See you, Austin.
Jacob will continue his little string of dialogue to Maeve and just say, I think it's because a lot of my questions were asked by my two friends down here, so I haven't really had a lot to ask.
That's alright.
Maybe stuff about specifics, like I know Life doesn't want me learning gifts yet and such, and I'll probably have a lot more questions then. And
Most spirits won't teach a gift to a cub,
no,
if it's any consolation. It's not just Olaf.
it's about it being unearned, isn't it?
A cub's duty is to find their place. Once they've found it, the spirits are there to aid you as allies. But it doesn't really do to give weapons to small children, as it were, at least through their eyes.
Speaking of which, I guess I should ask, how do you get what's the word, promoted, quote unquote?
Oh, how do you become a cliath?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Once you are ready, and I know that's an obnoxiously obscure way to put it, but usually you will know, and certainly the spirits will know, and will inform Uriahs. You are able to take a rite of passage. You approach the elder of whichever tribe you wish to join, and you ask to be given your right. You ask to be challenged so that you may join them. If you succeed in your right, you are welcomed into the tribe and recognized as an adult, and you become a cliath.
Alright, that sounds simple enough. It's just the process, I presume, is a lot harder and more complicated than it's made out to be. I don't know, I just feel a little bit useless right now, because what little I can do to help, I can't, because I'm kind of wanted. So,
Hopefully, we'll make that go away. I think Ping and Olaf have been talking. And even if you are wanted, there are other things that you can do. Because keep in mind, no matter where you are, and she'll gesture around them, the spirits are there, and they're watching. Things that you do, even here, things that seem small, can still make an impact on the spirits that watch you. And what one knows they spread to others. So if they see you as honorable, you will be known among the spirits as honorable. If you do things that earn you great glory, you will be recognized for that. And if you show wisdom, this is also respected.
I see. Not sure I'm gonna be doing that at first, because can't really uphold anything yet or anything like that.
You can't, but you can help by teaching your brothers and sisters to recognize the tenets of the litany in places where you see it being breached. And while you cannot approach one of your Rayas to call them out on it, should you see someone do something that you know breaks a tenet, you can report to the Den Father, you can report to a guardian. This is still acting the part of a Philodox. Even if they were not wrong and did not in a way break that tenet, you will learn how it is interpreted.
There's a nod from Liam. Yes, Raya.
She smiles faintly. She can't seem to help it. So gosh darn polite. Can't even handle it. That was me, by the way. Sorry. I should clarify that.
I was about to say, did you really say that?
No. That is Katie dying a little inside because it's so good. She will actually, while they're in the Umbra, kind of glance off in a direction as if looking over a great distance. You know what? Not... 1 second, let me clarify a thing real fast.
Well, actually, Liam will actually finally take a moment to look away from the dove spirits. And he'll walk over to gosh, brain fart. He'll walk over to Maebh, and he'll go, Raya, is it possible later that we can meet one of the elders of the tribe of the Fianna to hear stories and learn?
She smiles, and it's kind of a, for lack of better term, kind of a patient smile. Of course. I mean, Chase is the Storm Raya. He's a busy man, but I am sure that he will make time. I will make sure to send a message to him so that when he has the time, you can have your stories. I don't think Adam actually has had a chance to hear his tales either.
Adam shakes his head. No, Raya, I have not yet, but I am very close to approaching him on the matter you spoke of before. He smiles.
Ah, really? Good. Good. Well then.
And Adam gets a bit of a look in his eyes that is like, again, with if it had been a cartoon, a light bulb would have lit up over his head, and says, I thank all. I would like to. I thank all of you, but I do have something to attend to. So, if you will if you will excuse me, Raya, he says to Maeve, and with a smile.
Go on.
And with
She'll,
that, go on, sorry.
She'll offer him a mirror so he can get back across if he needs to.
Yeah, he does, and he will take his sweet time doing it because he doesn't want to risk getting caught. I don't know if I have to roll for that though.
Nope. If you take your time,
Okay.
it takes 5 minutes and you get across successfully.
Sweet, and I will see you all later.
All right.
Yeah.
And the P&E for that smile is that you get the impression that while she approves of his eagerness and, if anything, shares in it, it's not the easiest thing to accomplish, but you can tell that she approves and will be doing her best to help him in this.
Okay.
But it definitely looks like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is going to take a minute, but it's so nice that he's asking.
And Liam will actually look towards Jacob, and he'll just kind of tilt his head from side to side for a moment, and then ask, and then I'll turn back to Maeve. Can we go back to the Sept now, Raya?
The Tellurian? Yes. Of course. And she'll, again, flick open the hand mirror and hold it so that they can each look into a side of it.
Okay. He'll take his time, at least Liam will.
Is Jake going along too?
Yep, Jake's come along.
Awesome. Then yeah, once both of them have slipped across, Maeve will do much the same.
So, actually, speaking of which, Liam, sorry, is what Jacob says is they kind of cross back. Do you know what the litany is yet? I mean, I guess if you do, that's fine. But just take some workload off Maebh, Raya, and LFI.
He'll take a moment and get her own intelligence, see how much she remembers from yesterday. And she doesn't remember anything. He just shakes his head. I'm still learning it myself. I remember bits and pieces. Like the first one is just something about not mating with Garu, but I cannot remember the whole litany yet.
Fine. So we're here for to pull all our knowledge and skills together anyway. So yeah, if you just need anyone to help you revise with, I'm pretty good at that sort of thing. Is it intelligence
nods, and he
or wits? Sorry.
Everything I've heard is intelligence. I don't know for certain.
Okay. He's pretty good at both.
After a moment, Liam will take him, kind of look at him. Would you like to spar? He's kind of wagging his tail like really hard, like very enthusiastically.
Sure. I guess I should ask. Is this just practice or a challenge? Because the last time I got challenged, it came as a bit of a surprise. So just to clear up any misunderstandings before they happen.
He kind of tilts his head to the side and looks at Maebh. Raya, would it just be practice, or why would we need to challenge?
You could decide to challenge each other to some feat of, I don't know, fighting to the first blood or to unconsciousness or what have you, but you can also just spar. Keep in mind, though, that... Ooh, we went over silver, but we didn't go over this. You are a weapon right now in the form you wear. Your bite is very potent, and while if you were to, say, punch Jake right in the face and give him a black eye, if he shifted, it would heal almost instantly. But if you were to bite him, it would take much more effort to heal, and it's much more dangerous. It's very hard to kill a Garu with just kind of blunt damage in Hamid form. But your bites, your claws, they can. You either have to be very, very careful not to do damage, which is very hard and high risk, or more preferably, you just do any fighting in Hamid or Glabro if you're feeling frisky.
He kind of glances towards towards Jacob. I'll leave it up to you, I guess.
We can just spar. I wouldn't want to pressure anyone into a challenge or make this anything that causes any rivalries or anything. It's not really necessary. Just practice. It's easier and simpler that way anyway.
I'd say in Hamid you can spar as long as you want. If you're going to take another form, especially if you're going to do it in lupus, perhaps squabble only to the first blood, and then call it there. If someone is injured, give them a moment. If they are in another form, they will heal very quickly.
He looks to Jacob. I am most comfortable in this form, but if you shift up.
If that's what for you is comfortable in, then just give me one moment, good sir. And he begins shifting on over to his wolf form, and you see a white wolf with a slightly bushy tail and a nice coarse fur.
And just because everyone else is doing it, fuck it. Maebh is going to, while they're prepping themselves, is going to shake herself down into lupus and just kind of settle on her haunches off to the side to chaperone.
Okay. What would you say first blood is in terms of wound penalties?
I would say you can either do it, it's probably wisest to just say when one of you actually lands a good successful hit, or once one of you gets past the bruised health level.
Sure thing.
Because when you are biting each other for ag, I don't want you to go too crazy.
Oh, you do ag and lupus?
If you're born Hamid,
yes.
Oh,
if you're born Hamid, you do ag. That is why Maev's like, yeah, you can, but first blood and then stop.
Yeah.
Because
So
thankfully, the two of you shouldn't be big enough to kill each other in one blow.
Yeah, in theory.
This is also why she's standing by with that Gaia's breath and watching very closely.
Yep. And it should also be noted that Jacob also has his Gaia's breath necklace on, so he does have one of his own.
Good, good.
And once he's shifted, he'll take a more combat-ready stance. You know, he'll stand like he's almost ready to pounce, and he'll say, "Whenever you're ready." And
he gives. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, sorry. I was just going to say, you say what you how he responds, and then we'll roll initiative.
Okay. He just nods, and he takes a moment, and then he kind of settle, closes his eyes. He opens his eyes, and he settles like into a combat stance. It's not the most refined. It seems like he's almost going on instinct. And yeah, I guess we can roll initiative now.
Yep. In this form, Jacob's initiative is wits plus his dex plus 2 dex, so he'd have 9 plus his die roll. Oh god. He wins at life. Yeah. There's one thing Jacob is very good at, is getting the sucker punch in. So Jacob goes first. He gets it's a reactionary thing. Both of them pounce at the same time, but Jacob's just ever so slightly more agile. And goes for a biting attack and tries to bite into her. Well, he's not trying to. Into her chest, or whatever the wolf chest equivalent is, because he's not trying to go for the throat, because that could potentially kill. That's Dex plus 4, which is 7 dice. It's a bite, so it's a difficulty 5, I believe. Just correct me if I'm getting any of this wrong.
Yes. Well, actually, it is difficulty 4 because of Great White Mouse.
Great.
Great White Mouse, set totem. -1 difficulty to bites.
In which case, it's difficulty 4.
If you want to say that you are mouthing, I wouldn't stop you.
Well,
Because if one of you kills the other, I will be very upset.
He gets 6 successes. I don't have a specialty, so it's not it's not me. By his strength plus 2, and I got 6 successes. That's 5.
There's also. Never mind.
So it's 4 plus 2 plus 5. So that's 11 dice. Oh god. Oh god. Wow.
Like I said, if you guys want to mouth each other, I wouldn't stop you so that you didn't kill each other horribly.
I mean, he's not trying to kill him, so yeah. Well,
thankfully, that's not enough to kill him. Alright, so roll your soak, sir.
You get to soak
Or
this, by the way.
you can either soak, or you may use your action to dodge. I totally should have told you that before he cleared the attack.
Oh,
That
yes.
was what, 6 successes?
6 successes.
So you may dodge, which would take away some of his dice, and he'd have to reroll his damage, or you can...
Nope, just soak. I soak 2 of it.
Okay, so you take 4 ag.
That's... First blood is excruciatingly painful.
And if the two of them do not, nigh immediately leap apart, Maeve will give a bark to make sure that they remember to stop.
Oh, yeah. So, Jacob immediately jumps back when he kind of probably hears Liam somewhat, or he realizes he's bitten maybe a bit too deep, maybe didn't hold back enough, didn't treat this enough as practice or something. Maybe he's just in the mood because it's he talked about challenges and is still maybe trying to get out of that mindset, and he immediately separates and asks if Liam's okay.
He's yelping a little, but he's doing the wolf equivalent of gritting his teeth and staying on his feet.
And actually, what is your stamina, sir?
4.
Oh, good. But yeah, Maeve will be immediately hopping up and trotting into the middle of this to investigate the bite and how bad it is.
He's a bit wounded.
Indeed.
He can walk, but he cannot run.
So yeah, she will trot up while Liam is at least doing a pretty good job of maintaining his composure. She is doing a less good job and is obviously worried. And she'll investigate and potentially kind of groom the injury to clear any extra blood so that she can see it, and then kind of utter a woof. Oh, sorry about that. I did not mean to mute you.
He'll just stand there and let Maebh look it over. He's not. He's just kind of standing still, probably breathing a little heavy. But other than that, he's doing his best to fight it off.
Because, and actually, you know what, Damien, correct me. How quickly do we heal Ag, or do we
Well, here's the fun thing. You can pretty much heal lethal damage with the famous stamina survival roll of 1 per turn. For Ag, I'm never quite sure. Better apply your mother's touch on this, because I'm pretty sure that it doesn't. Otherwise, we would be kind of OP to regen Ag like that.
Yeah. Well, we've exited combat, but I still don't know what the rate is for healing Ag. So Maeve will investigate and make this, at least fleetingly, a teaching moment, and look to Jake. This is why you have that. And she will point her nose. Oh boy. Yeah, Maeve will point her nose to the necklace, the little gourd hanging around his neck, and then will duck her muzzle to snap up the one dangling from her own neck. And with a point of gnosis expended, is going to snap it in her teeth, and then kind of nose at the injury as the dove spirit trapped inside does its effect. 4 levels of damage will be healed.
Liam will actually he'll bare his throat to Maeve and go, "No disrespect, Raya, but may we try again? And if he injures me this time, can you not heal me, please?"
She
snorts. Unless it is life-threatening, please. He has he has like the pleading eyes, like.
I hope that you can understand my hesitation. That would have taken you the better part of a week to heal.
We are warriors, Raya. If we cannot learn from our mistakes and fighting, then there is no then there is. He stopped for a moment, trying to think it over.
As much as I am not afraid of you injured in a passive way, aggravated damage is very hard. Well, I shouldn't say aggravated. The damage for a bite or a claw from one of us is very hard to heal, and should something happen, and things do invade this sept, I would not want you to go in already injured. If it was weapons, if it was fists, I wouldn't mind, but with teeth, I prefer that you not. Besides, one slip, had he accidentally bitten too hard, and that could have been it. You would have been gone, and I would have been in a lot of trouble, and very sad.
He nods. He nods. Yes, Raya.
So you may... Oop, is he appearing?
Oh yeah, he's standing behind you.
Flop. He flops, bares his throat instantly.
Jacob will do the same, and I will go for a few minutes. So Jacob will be looking on in silence, in shame mode.
That's fair. In shame mode. Maeve spares only the time it takes to kind of whip a glance around, just because she's been very thoroughly startled. And will, of course, immediately do the flop.
So, currently, you think yourself an Arun boy?
No, Raya.
Do you know what happens when one such as yourself fights in wolf form
He shakes his head but doesn't speak.
Exactly, that's the problem. You know nothing. Because here's the truth. If you both were lupuses, that would be less of a problem. However, you were born homids, and you may have noticed it, but his bite, it hurts, doesn't it?
Yes, Raya.
Huh. So, I may not know a lot about your first change, but I know of his first change, as he points to to the Silver Fang. So perhaps one of you both can enlighten me what happens when a Garu is getting controlled by his rage?
They kill things, Raya?
Exactly, and there's something very interesting when you are fighting and you are on the brink of death. You tend to frenzy. So, since you both want to fight, here is what you're going to do. You're going to take the Glabro form, you're going to take those two chairs, and you're going to beat each other with those chairs.
Yes, Raya.
Maeve proceeds to idly wonder if Katori's been shown wrestling recently.
Hey, come on, those are the only blunt weapons that are in this room.
They have fists, you know. I'm just saying.
I mean, if you really want to get at each other. Huh, interesting. Last time we had cubs, you were quite talkative. Doesn't seem to be their thing.
They're very well behaved, Raya.
Hmm. Seems to me like they are out of character. Seems to me like they eat a brick wall. Or at least one of them is AFK.
Yes.
Oh, outside of those two, anything new on the front?
Has Maeve been acknowledged in any way, or is she giving a report from her back?
Nah, yeah. You know, at some point where Katori pretty much does ignore or things, it's like, yeah, do your thing. Stop rolling over.
Okay. I am just checking.
You've practiced Katori long enough.
So she'll know that by now it's cool for her to go ahead and flip back up, and she will go ahead and roll herself back up and shake herself off. But will notably, actually, take such a position that her ears are a tiny bit lower. She's slouched just a tiny bit shorter than he is, being extra deferential, as it was. Things that she doesn't usually bother with. How many of the first changes have you heard of, Raya?
Well, white fur over here. Well, now I know that we have a new one over here.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I'll leave that one to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know of the Shadow Lord one.
Mm-hmm.
At least this one. Even if he's a Shadow Lord, he might have potential. And well, I know of Snowpaws.
Of course. And Heidi?
And he thinks, oh, Betriegwassen.
Yep.
Yes. I've seen her.
Well, there's that.
Well,
There's another
mhm.
thing that I would very much like your assistance in, Raya.
Sure. What is it?
One of my kin has become weaver-tainted.
Reiki?
Yes. Apparently, power thirst, whatever that is back.
Oh, great. I thought we got rid of this shit.
That's what Olaf and Morning Kill Raya both said. And Lucas.
Yes, Olaf, Olaf and Garrett gave me the side eye. The side eye might say, "Oh, Kotori, you know how to heal things. Can you heal things?" Of course, I can heal things.
Heal things.
Yes, you may not have seen it, but I'm quite good at healing stuff.
Well, I am quite sure you are. I just wasn't sure what needed healing.
Generally, being weaver tainted is rarely seen as a healthy situation.
That's fair. But yes, I would very much appreciate it. I would like to be able to bring him on Sept. Olaf has been talking a good bit about how our safe houses may be sieged. And I want Ricky here where he's safe, and his niece.
Hmm. Uh, as he thinks a little bit. He can't cross.
No. He can kind of feel where the bond is and stays outside of it, but he can't step across.
That can be arranged. But yeah, I'm going to cleanse him of his impurity. And he makes a pause very dramatically before adding, "Not the Wendigo way."
Thank you, Raya.
Also, as he thinks a little bit, we are gonna make a little meeting. Get me the other keepers. I have a little something that I thought that need to be discussed.
Of course.
And tell Lucas, or you, I don't know, you have tree money. I'm gonna need, and I will be very precise on this, I need a at least jaded cup, or at least one of those small thing where you people put leaves and water in it, and it has to be in jade.
Has to be jade.
Hmm?
So you need a jade teapot.
Yes.
That's... I really hope there are little shops for that, because otherwise it may be very costly, Raya. But I am sure we'll be able to get a hold of it.
As he thinks of it for a little bit. If you have something jaded, the better. If not, very exquisite.
I could make you something with green glass.
No. Need to talk with wingless dragons. Wingless dragons come from the east. Think like the east. Much etiquette, much traditions.
Oh, very well. At that point, it doesn't necessarily have to be jade. That's an expense that maybe a human would appreciate, but I don't know if the spirit would necessarily want it to be a certain material so long as it was maybe something older, maybe an antique, something of value.
Thing of value works, but have a very high value over jade.
Okay.
They explicitly appreciate jade.
I will let Lucas know. In fact, I am letting Lucas know right now. I don't know how much of the money that I make I can commit to it. Ricky's in a bad place, and it's probably going to take most of, if not all of what I make.
This is the moment where I was happy that we had Travis. He had much free money. As he... you can throw a peony on that.
Even, well, I mean, if it's... Is this for the good of the sept?
As he looks at her, do I look like the kind of lupus that collect jade?
Well, of course, but I mean, you could try going to Maelin, maybe? Or if it was really important, you could try speaking to Morningkill Raya.
Yes, I can try that. But try to see if you find thing. I will check on them to see if they have something. But yes, wingless dragons are protectors of lands, protector of people. If we could get their attention and their blessing, well, that might be extremely useful against the Gets and the Silver Fang.
I will do everything I can to help, Raya.
Just
May
for...
I...
What?
Sorry.
Go on.
And yes, for the sake of the viewers who will not be able to see the side chat, in the background, as these two have their very solemn conversation, there are two cubs in Glabro with folding chairs. Gaia knows where they got them, smacking each other with them in glorious, glorious battle. Because this is what happens when someone shows Kotori wrestling, I'm fairly sure. But in the foreground, Maebh is, again, kind of suspectly hesitant. And in fact, I will even go so far as to be like, this is your lure to peony. I know that we have gifts of healing. I know that we have many gifts for many purposes. But we don't often see disease in our people. Are there gifts to cure diseases? Terminal ones?
As Kotori scratched his back ear with his back leg. Are you asking me if there is a cure for this cancer thing?
She almost looks a little hurt, but nods faintly.
Anything is pretty much possible with the right spirit. Right, Shiminage. Out of character, since there's a link here, and he has much knowledge.
Yes.
I believe, however, that there is a Garu gift that heals disease, but I don't remember. I don't remember which tribe has this.
What's your Garu lore?
Garu lore currently is at 2.
At 2?
Yes.
You have no clue.
Yup.
I figured in a pinch, I'm going to see if I can talk to Ophelia before I talk to the kami. Or I will prepare very, very grand chiminage and plan to speak to Unicorn.
What exactly are you trying to do?
Exactly what you said.
No, I'm asking why, not what. Even if I said what, don't correct me.
Why? Because he is my kin.
I thought he was tainted with Weaver Taint, not terminal disease.
He is both. One because of the power thirst, and one because the world is a cruel and terrible place sometimes.
There are many different ways of doing so. You can go. You can go to Unicorn, yes.
It's
I
the
would suggest.
greatest spirit of healing I know of.
Yeah. Do you remember that I made a shrine for Bear?
I've seen the shrine. I didn't know that you had made it.
Yes. Do you remember that Bear, while being called the Spirit of War, is for and foremost
I
the
do
Spirit of
remember.
healing? How do you, as he is going to paw at your muzzle? Don't you remember what I told you about my talons? Who do you think
She is pawed in the face.
Who do you think I went to? Well, yes, technically I went to Unicorn and Bear.
I had thought of Unicorn. I don't know. I didn't think of Bear. You'd think with everything that's happening, it would have thought of that first, even, but.
That's why sometimes you got to take a little distance. And since apparently someone said it's a failed roll to hide where it's coming from, I guess do we roll perception alertness to hear what's been whispered?
Maeb's ears are doing the twitch, twitch, twitch. She'll finally, kind of startle and glance in the appropriate direction.
Merlink is as silencious as he is stealthy. Much stealth. He's too good at it.
He is all that is ninja. Does Katori need to roll anything to hear what you said?
That's what I asked, but he's too good of a ninja.
I was hoping maybe he didn't hear it for some reason and repeating it.
He's got enough. But yeah, Katori, looks at you. Well, yes. Also, water spirit are kind of useful in that aspect.
I should have known that too.
It's okay. It's okay.
It just deflates into a flump on the ground.
There.
Since I failed to check to throw voice, I might as well say this. You're still a cliath. You still have much to learn. And this is a voice two of them have never heard, and they have a good idea where it's coming from.
It's a voice they've never heard?
Never heard? Are you sure?
Two of them. The cubbies.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The cubbies have never heard. Very well.
The cubbies who are busy wrestling with chairs.
Aye. They're being stupid homids.
Oi! Wasn't Jacob's idea. He wasn't even around for this shit.
It's Tori's idea.
And I never said it was an order, so you better learn to hear the phrasing.
Goddamn.
Maybe they thought it would be hilarious to hit each other with chairs.
Spirit chairs.
Maybe they wanted to make extra sure it was happy.
There are many ways to make me happy. They could have just slapped each other with their hands. That's very entertaining. Anyway, as he looks around, he doesn't even bother to look around because he knows it's Laughing Shadow, and it's kind of useless to try and spot Laughing Shadow.
I mean, you can totes attempt. I only have like 9 successes this time.
Sure.
Unless we can do the communal effort thing again.
I can totally get that amount of success. Like,
Now, mind you, I don't have any gifts active, so.
yeah, obviously, you monster.
I don't have that many dice.
It's so you can't detect where he is. You just know the direction.
That's okay. Maeve is content in knowing who it is and the vague direction. This is kind of like knowing Lucas is around.
Oh no, you don't want to see me be mean.
I don't. I really don't.
Well, I'll leave them to you for a sense of tracking. After all, the previous lessons had been interesting. Once they've stopped their share contest, I might get them and get me Gabriel.
Yes.
Good. Oh, also, as he... well, he's gone, but who cares? He will still have to watch this.
He will what?
He'll have to watch this because I'm addressing directly to Laughing Shadow.
Oh, okay.
Lol.
He probably is.
Also, well, I guess you probably saw her, but I'm pretty sure my sister would like to meet someone from our father's side of the tribe.
We shall presume that the ghost like Lupus has heard you.
Yes, maybe. Who knows? Maybe he's a prick and just left. And with that, he looks at the cubs. You can stop it, I didn't say it was an order.
Yes, Raya. He drops he doesn't drop the chair. He sets the chair down, stands almost at attention.
Kotori says, stand on your hands.
I'm gonna roll Dex Athletics. Cub wants to please. What is it? Dude, I'm gonna spend a willpower on this.
I will refuse you the use of willpower for my own amusement.
That's
Still
okay.
got two
Still got
successes.
2 successes.
Yes.
So the cubs.
He sees you, and he stays silent for a moment, perhaps slightly perplexed.
Maeve actually manages to look a little amused from her sulk on the ground.
And he's going to turn to Maebh. Oh, he's definitely of your tribe. And
I like
with
him.
that, he will nod. He will nod to you, and he will disappear in the umbra, just like that. You know, he just poof out, like poof. He just disappear.
He's still doing the handstand, by the way. Until Araya told him not to, he's going to be doing his handstand.
Maeve looks at him and just kind of blinks a few times and finally shakes her head a little bit and says, "You can get down."
Yes, Rat. And he just comes back down. And is standing at semi-attention. Like, he knows Maebh fairly decently enough to realize she's probably not going to snap at him for not being in attention, but, like, he's still halfway there.
Maeve continues to shake her head slightly and goes ahead and starts pulling herself up from the ground. Sulking isn't helping anything. She'll trot back over and nose at either of them, and their injuries will be disappearing already. Probably by the time she gets there, they're gone. Even if they got a good whack in there. You guys are ridiculous. Oh. She glances between. I feel like we told one of you. And maybe not the other. Glance, glance. Eye contact.
Yep, it's bad.
She nods. Especially in the case of the one you just met and the one you just heard. Make sure you do not ever look them directly in the eyes. It is considered a challenge, just like smiling and showing your teeth.
Yes, Raya.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I got into my misunderstanding with Heidi. I thought she was trying to be threatening and misbehaving. Turns out she's trying to issue a challenge.
Yeah. They're very common new mistakes, but well, thankfully even Laughing Shadow Raya has a sense of humor, but still best not to tempt fate.
Nod. Yes, Raya.
Jacob just nods.
Oh, and as has been pointed out by Link, which I didn't see till now because I haven't been looking at my messenger, when you took that 4-ag bite, you did gain a point of rage.
Okay, so I'm at 4. Is that above, or just stay at my permanent rage cap?
Temporary, especially when you gain it from things like injury or battle, will go above your permanent.
Okay.
That is why
So
it's so important
4.
to have a good gap between your will and your rage.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Okay. I think that is just enough shenanigans for both of you. I can't believe you actually hit each other with chairs.
It wasn't my idea.
Oh, it was Katori's idea, and I should say Katori Raya's idea. But, he found it pretty amusing, and I dare say he might even like you with shenanigans like that handstand. That was pretty funny. I can't believe you actually pulled it off.
If the Raya asks, I deliver. And he actually gives like a bit of a grin, carefully not showing his teeth. He's trying to practice that. He gives like a bit of a lopsided grin. You can see his Fianna blood coming out now.
I can. This is horrifyingly perfect. And Maeve will be deeply amused and finally start nosing them both towards the boys' cabin. Well, you might as well get ready for, I guess, lunch, dinner, whatever the heck Heidi's making. After getting rolled around and beating each other with chairs, and Yeah, you should go get washed up for dinner or something.
Yes, Raya.
Or
And he'll
I don't
shift
know,
down.
do something. But I feel like I have taken up enough of your time with lessons.
Yeah, so he'll shift down.
You will have. Yay! You guys will have plenty of lessons, plenty of training, plenty of duties as time goes on. Enjoy your free time while you can.
Yes, Raya.
Oh dear, I'm on a prolonged vacation as it appears right now.
You say these things, but later you're going to regret saying these things. It's not going to be a vacation for long. Especially not you two being Philodoxes. That means you get special attention from Olaf.
Who says I was being sarcastic?
You actually, Liam actually glares at him when he says that.
Glares at Jacob, you mean?
Yes. God, you think he's gonna glare at Araya? Have you not been watching like his character at all?
I don't even remember, but did you say like Adam or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
Either way,
called him Adam.
it's a Jacob.
It's a Jacob.
I said at him, not Adam.
Oh, at him.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, but he's glaring at Jacob now.
I know it's only going to be an uphill battle from here. At least it won't get boring.
True.
And Maebh knows at Liam's leg. Go play nice.
Yes, Raya. And then he'll walk to Jacob and he'll wrap his arm around his shoulder. Let's go see what Heidi's up to. And he squeezes. He does a very, very surreptitious, like, squeezes your shoulder, and he just mouths out of the side of his mouth. Probably not a good idea to say that to the Raya. Yeah, I'm going to roll manipulation subterfuge.
Keep that on the down low.
On the down low. Because I got caregiver nature. I don't want him to get in trouble.
That's true. Presumably Jacob doesn't have to puny this, because you're conveying your intentions to him, but not to...
It's basically to see if he can keep it down low enough that Maebh doesn't catch the whisper, but his intention should be pretty clear. And while I have an ungodly perception alertness in lupus, Maebh thankfully isn't paying too much attention, so I'm going to let you get away with it, especially since you got a couple successes.
I mean, you could do it still. I mean, all we'll be doing is showing that he actually, like, cares about respecting Raya's.
Oh, dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bloop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5. Because thankfully, actually, you know what? I'll say the only way the 10s pop is in that she understands the intention probably even more so than the words. So she gets the intention that he's being offered a bit of advice at a murmur, and she'll kind of vaguely catch what he's saying, but all in all seems, is approving, albeit she's not going to interrupt or be like, I heard that.
Can someone roll 5 dice? Because Jacob probably needs to roll to understand what Beam's trying to say to him. Other than that, he probably shouldn't mention it.
You got 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I should ask, what is Liam trying to say other than don't say that to the elder? Because
really, he's just conveying that and conveying, like, dude, not a smart idea. It's basically the message he's trying to convey.
Dude, don't sass the Raya.
Pretty much. That's the impression you're getting. It's don't sass the Raya. I don't want to have to clean your parts up. Body parts.
Okay, yeah. Oh, when it came to uphill battle, he was saying that to Liam because Liam was glaring at him, not to Maebh. There's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
I assume
I was more referring to the I was being sarcastic thing.
Oh no.
The tone was quite sassy.
Okay.
So sassy.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to be. That's the sad part. He was like, "Nah, I'm not being sarcastic. It's I don't know what's going on." Ah. Okay. Jacob will look slightly confused then, and we'll go, sure. He seems compliant, but, you know, like doesn't really understand what the problem is per se.
I'll explain when we got some free time.
Oh, sure thing. And I'll help you revise.
Sounds like we got a plan. As he'll say as they walk into the cub cabin.
Actually, if they're going after Heidi, they're going into Olaf's cabin, which is even funnier.
Oh no! Oh no!
Right. He wouldn't be going in. He wouldn't be going in.
They will notice that Olaf's cabin has pretty much an open door policy. All sorts of random people just walk in and out of there like it's no big deal.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
including the fact that Heidi has decided to go in there to cook, even though there's a perfectly serviceable kitchen in the girls' cabin.
Yeah, that's not as bad as I was thinking.
Yep. And so I will say that this seems like a pretty good place to end what ended up being a fairly long scene. And so we will say, as the two cubs, with a sense of camaraderie, go to harass yet another cub and steal her food, we'll say thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Thank you, ST, for poking your head in and helping ST. We will see you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.